My son made a kid cry on his birthday, and I was so proud of him. I know how that sounds, but hear me out. My son Jake has always been the leader type, confident to the point of being cocky, quick with a comeback, and possessed of that magnetic quality that draws other 8-year-olds like moths to a flame. Third grade was rough. I'd gotten calls about him excluding kids from games, making fun of their lunches, organizing elaborate pranks that left someone in tears. The worst incident was when he convinced his whole lunch table to ignore this quiet girl Maya for an entire week because she smelled weird. Maya was one of those sweet, shy kids who seemed to fade into the background. Messy braids, hand-me-down clothes that were always too big, and yes, sometimes an odd smell that I later learned came from the exotic spices her grandmother used in their traditional cooking. Her mom had called the school in tears, explaining that Maya had been coming home asking why no one would talk to her. I was mortified. I'd marched Jake to his room and delivered what I thought was a stellar lecture about kindness, but honestly, I wasn't sure any of it had penetrated his thick skull. So when I got that ringtone, the special anxious melody I'd set specifically for school calls, on Maya's birthday 3 weeks later, I literally felt sick. My stomach dropped as I watched Mrs. Chen's name flash across my screen. The teacher was crying before she even got through her greeting. Mrs. Peterson, I need to tell you what happened today. Here we go, I thought, already mentally preparing my apology speech. What did my kid do now? Maya brought cupcakes for her birthday today, Mrs. Chen began, her voice thick with emotion. Beautiful homemade cupcakes with pink frosting and rainbow sprinkles. When she stood up to hand them out, the whole class just sat there. Nobody moved. Not a single child got up from their desk. My heart was already breaking for Maya. I could picture her standing there with her carefully prepared treats, probably wearing her nicest dress, finally having her moment to be special. She looked so hopeful at first, but then you could see the realization creeping across her face. Her shoulders just sagged. Poor Maya. But why was Jake's teacher crying? Then Jake stood up. Mrs. Chen paused, taking a shaky breath. He looked around at everyone with this expression I'd never seen before, not his usual mischievous grin, but something serious, almost stern. He said, "Come on, guys, it's her birthday." But nobody moved. Wait, what? Where was this story going? So he walked up to Maya, and Mrs. Peterson, you should have seen his face. He looked genuinely upset that no one was moving. He took a cupcake, looked Maya right in the eyes, and said, "Happy birthday, Maya. These look awesome. Did your mom make them?" When she nodded, he took a big bite and said, "She's a really good baker." I felt something strange happening in my chest, a warm, unfamiliar flutter that I was afraid to identify as pride. One by one, every single kid in that class followed Jake to get a cupcake. It was like he'd broken some invisible spell. Maya's whole face transformed. She went from looking like she might cry to absolutely glowing. Jake saved her entire birthday. That weekend, we showed up to Maya's birthday party at the local park. She had invited the whole class like she did every year, and for the first time ever, kids actually came. Nearly the whole class showed up, laughing and playing and treating Maya like she'd always belonged. Jake spent the afternoon teaching her how to throw a football, patiently encouraging her attempts and cheering when she finally got it right. As I watched them, I realized that sometimes the same qualities that make a kid capable of cruelty, confidence, influence, the ability to command attention, are exactly what enable them to choose kindness when it matters most.